Yingling.
And we're live. Oh,
what happened?
We lost our guest as soon as we went live. Anyway, welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. I'm sure our guest will come back any second now. But we have a special guest on today. He's a very smart man. He'll introduce himself.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
No, not you. We brought a smart guy and a really dumb guy.
So just kidding. The instant that you went live, I got disconnected.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but no. So this is our guest. It's Tamago. Welcome back, or welcome to the channel. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are, why you have the audacity to come on my channel, and what you're going to show us today.
Yeah, so I'm going to show something in the options market, which is going to reveal the way that a lot of meme stock traders are losing a lot of money predictably. I'm not a professional options trader. I've just been doing this for like the last year or so. But I have a background in mathematics and computer science, so I should, technically, I should be okay with this. So the first stock we're going to look at is DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Corporation.
I'm going to bring on my screen here. I'm going to show you all my Robinhood account. Can y'all see it?
Dude, I have it pulled up in everything money software already.
DWAC.
So the way I remember it as Donald will always cuck. And if you buy this stock, you're going to get cucked again, and I'm going to prove why that's the case.
Seems like a good buy to me, bro. Doesn't it have no PE, no business operations, $1.6 billion market cap?
No company.
Does Elon have equity in it? That's the real question.
Do they have a cryptocurrency?
I mean, I would consider this stock to essentially be a crypto token at this point.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. It has no underlying value.
It's a promise that one day there'll be a business. So
I like it. I'm all in.
Let's look at the one-day chart first of all.
All right. So I'm kind of retarded when it comes to options.
So not and we don't have to expand it. We're just looking at. So go back. We're just looking at the basic view. We just want the basics. So the first thing to look at is the current price and then the after hours movement. So we see that it's down 7 cents in the after hours, which means when the market closed for normal trading, it was at 44.97. And that's important because when the market closes for normal trading, that's when the option market stops. And so we really want to compare the option prices against the price when the market closed, not when the after hours session closed. So all the option prices we're going to see for this are based on a stock price of 44.97. So that's like the first critical place that you can go wrong. So now let's open up the options for this.
Let's remember bro.
Yeah, and then we're going to look at the expiration date and change it to not super far out because then we'll get really big spreads. But let's go to January 2023. So not 2024, but 2023. That one there. Yep. And so the price now is about $45. So let's expand the $45 call. And we can see, look at the bid and the ask on this. So the bid is $11.60 and the ask is $15.35. What that means is if you try to buy this, it's going to cost you $15.35. And if you try to sell it, you're only going to get $11.60. So that's pretty big.
That is a huge spread.
That's a big spread. So this is where Robinhood is fleecing people. It's mostly on options. If you trade options.
Yeah, a quick aside. If you go look in their financial statements, which I've looked at, I haven't looked at it recently, but like the last one I looked at, they made massive money from options. I think it was like their number one way they made money. So if this is where they're getting it, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, so let's close up the 45 and look at number $40. Let's try to find one that's close to the share price, but is a smaller spread. We can go with that one, but it's just good. So this is about $3. Okay, let's go with this. That's fine. That's still pretty big, but this is just to show a point. So in this case, what a call is, it's the right but not the obligation to purchase a stock. So if we own a call, that means that if the stock closes above $40 before the expiration date of this call, we're going to be able to use our call to buy the shares at $40. So let's say DWAC closes at $100 on January 20, 2023, well, we can use this call to buy it at 40 instead of 100.
Well, but it isn't the call. It's the right to buy 100 shares, right?
That's exactly right. But if you look at
Okay.
the price of the call is actually should be multiplied by 100 in that case. So that 1493 that you see, it's really going to be 1,400. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of misleading how they do that, because if you buy one contract, it's not 1493. It's 1493.
Yes. This
Tamago,
makes it hard.
When you sell a call, that's when you have the obligation to buy it, right?
That's where you have the obligation to sell. So if we want the obligation to buy,
sorry. Yeah.
that's where we're looking. So let's change it and look at puts of the put side of this thing. So put is the obligation to buy. Yeah. So
You're saying if buying a put gives you the obligation, you're saying if you sell a put.
If you sell a put, right. So
Yeah.
interestingly, if you buy a call, you have the right to buy if the share price closes above the strike price. And if you sell a put, you have the obligation to buy if the stock closes below the strike price. And so what that means is if you buy a call and sell a put with the same expiration and strike price, either way, you're getting the shares at the strike price. Either you're using your call or your put is being used against you. So if the share price closes above the strike, you're using your call. If the share price closes below the strike, your put is being used against you. Either way,
Is there ever a scenario where that you wouldn't be exercised? Because isn't there a point where even if the stock, let's say the stock goes below the strike price, isn't there still a scenario where the person has it broken even and they don't exercise it?
You should always use it. The only difference would be if the stock has extraordinarily low liquidity, and so the share price isn't actually what you could sell it for back into the market. Then you might not exercise. Alternatively, you might exercise something early if there's a dividend coming up. But for the most part, assuming no dividend, and I guarantee the stock's not going to have a dividend anytime soon.
You have to have profits for a dividend, don't you?
The only type of dividend I could expect
Cash
is a
flow.
special purpose dividend where they just give back all the money and close up business. So that is obviously a risk. But so let's look at a position where we do two things at once. So let's go to buy call.
And by the way, fans, I'm not saying you should buy this.
You absolutely shouldn't. And I'm going to show you why this is a terrible stock. So then hit that little plus bar. And thank God the market's closed, so we can't accidentally do anything.
I would kill you.
Chris is on the hook for $1,400 worth of crap stock.
After all this preaching of Boglehead investing, he goes all in on this stock.
Bro, I just lost $100K. You know how many hours I'm going to have to be at the truck stop to get that back?
Hey, I demand a high price, man. It wouldn't take me that long to win this back.
Hey, I mean, with Alibaba, I know all about the truck stop.
Yeah, dude, I had somebody comment on my channel because I was making fun of Meet Kevin, and they go, what about Baba? I go, yeah, Baba's fundamentals are strong, dude. I'm really not that worried about it.
I think basically what happened is that, after the share price crashed, I started backing up the truck, and it crashed more, and I kept backing up the truck, and pretty soon I saw Jerry Lafufu, and I realized I had driven all the way to the truck stop in reverse.
Oh, so you're a truck driver.
Basically at this point.
Hey.
Yeah, anyway, so let's also go to sell put. So we have a long call, and we're going to add a sell put. And so you do not have
to do like certain like spreads and stuff.
Here, while you doing that, I'm going to be right back. I got a weak bladder.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure,
I can't buy and
yeah.
sell spreads. So I think you have to apply for it. Wait a minute.
You have
No,
to
maybe
have
I
like
do
more
have to pay.
options experience. You have to have like more options experience. Like you're level 2. I think you have to be level 3 to do like covered calls, spreads, and all that.
So they're gamifying it.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
So
I
you can
may have
level up.
higher.
You can level up if you risk your retirement on this, whatever this stupid options on this stupid stock is.
I
You
may
have
have
to
the option to
embrace-
do it on Fidelity though. Let me check because I know Fidelity I unlocked something on there.
Well, yeah, Fidelity, you don't have to have any requirements because, I mean, Robinhood just makes it so you have to kind of learn options more before you do it. I'm assuming that's me giving them the benefit of the doubt. But
nah, there's
really...
something nefarious behind it. I'm not giving Robinhood the benefit of the doubt on anything.
I mean, you just have to really embrace the truck stop to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta just be one with it.
I'm meeting with a client today at the truck stop. I think his name is Stockmo. Is that what his name is? I think so.
He's going to be down there. He's going to be down there selling Tesla cat to those truckers.
Are we sure that that's a client or a competitor?
Stockmo's the type of guy that wears cargo pants.
I think I'm able to potentially do this on Fidelity. So I'm going to try to hide all my crap, and hopefully you clowns don't steal my stuff.
Dude, don't bring that up on the internet, dude.
We could
figure out a different way. Don't bring up your actual fucking.
No. It's not like I can hide all the stuff.
Dude, just do it in Robin stock or don't do it.
Wait, is there a way I can unlock this stuff, or are we just kind of?
Yeah. So if you go in your settings, you should be able to upgrade your options abilities.
All right, here's my Robin dick. You guys can see my massive portfolio. I don't really care about Robinhood.
Yeah, that's less than I've lost in Baba stock.
Oh yeah, it was a lot higher before Baba went down. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, so I think it's
options level there. So if you go to investing, options level, upgrade.
Okay. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay.
It's the future.
Crap, I don't even know my password for Robinhood. Wait a minute. There it is.
It's the
just
future.
Don't hit the little I.
No, I won't. I mean, if y'all... Oh, I did it. All right. I did not get my account hacked, and I was able to upgrade my options.
There we go.
We need to get Stock Guru in here.
Yeah, he would. I mean, he's such a genius. He knows how to, do all this stuff. This proves I'm just lost in the thoughts because I don't know how to trade options. Anyway, let's. Okay, so we had. Would it save what I did earlier?
Remember no, it's terrible. Go to the January 2023. Yeah. So we're going to buy a call, sell a put. Yeah.
For the same strike
price. If Baba doesn't go up by May of next year, I'm storming the Capitol.
Jesus Christ. Which capital, though? You should probably go to Beijing, right?
Go demand that Baba goes up from Beijing.
Okay.
Stop disgracing the Chinese market, scum.
All right, distractors. Let's get this done. So I have this. What's next?
Okay, so let's scroll down to that the chart. Yeah, so if you look at the chart here, it looks kind of like we just went long the stock. That chart is essentially a profit and loss. So as the price increases, as we go to the right, we end up with a larger and larger profit, and then as it goes down, we end up with a larger and larger loss.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. Stock goes down, lost.
Yeah, so the two little ticks there, the green, is that green? The little tick on the right there?
Yeah, this?
Yeah, so that looks like, is that our current price? Whoa.
What's going on? Zoom in. Hold on. All right, that doesn't work. Shit. That's about as good as it gets.
Well, anyway, whatever that is. So
that's 40. That's the strike price, and this.
Oh, right, strike price, and then that's the current price, and then the white tick is the most important one because that's our break-even price. So what this means is if the stock ends up at 31.52 at the expiration date in a year, that's our break-even. So we can think about this kind of like buying the shares, but we're locked in until a year from now. But we effectively buy the shares at 31.52,
which is a great price, right?
Yeah. Well, notably, there is a spread, so we might have to pay a few dollars more than this, but the spreads are like $3. So realistically, maybe our cost basis won't be $31.52. Maybe it'll be $35. But either way, that's much more than the $44.97 that the stock was trading at. That's a huge discount.
Okay, so what's the whole point of this? Is it just to show that you can use options to effectively, go long the stock, or?
Well, it's interesting that if you were going to go long the stock and hold it for a long time, you would want to use this option strategy, not just buy the shares. Now, you might wonder, how come this exists? I mean, couldn't you arbitrage this? Couldn't you short the shares and then, do this long strategy? Wouldn't that be guaranteed to win? And it's not guaranteed to win, because when you short the shares, you have to pay interest on those shorted shares. There's a borrow cost. So even if you're shorting shares, and even if the price of the shares you're shorting stays constant, you're bleeding money, because you keep having to pay to maintain your short position, because you're borrowing shares in order to short.
That was one of the biggest contentions with Michael Burry before the housing market collapsed. Like, you can actually, they show it in that one movie, The Big Short, where the guy comes in there and he goes, you're losing X number of dollars per month, because he was paying the interest on those shorts.
Right.
Okay.
So essentially, the extra money here, which is in this case about a third of the price of the stock, that's effectively what's baked into the short interest for a year.
Jesus.
Now, if you go long the stock and just buy the shares, you don't get that. It's not like you end up with the shares plus an additional 30% of your invested money. No, all that short interest got taken by Robinhood, and that's their profit.
Are you talking about this 1,300 here?
Yeah, essentially. So when the share price declines to $31 or whatever, you're just down. You don't get any of the short interest that you were paid by the short sellers. Typically, brokers will take some fraction of the short interest. That's why, as a retail investor, if you have a heavily shorted stock like this, you shouldn't just go long the shares, because you're effectively donating that short interest to your broker.
Okay, so Barney style. So you would buy this, you would buy a call, you'd sell a put, and then you would also, would you short the stock, or would you be on, or what would you do on the other end?
The other end?
So you're saying you buy a call and you sell a put. Is there anything else you do?
That's all you would do if you really wanted to go long this stock. So if you were a real believer in this stock, what I would recommend doing in that case is buying a call and selling a put that are long dated, and doing that instead of just buying shares.
But see, my thing about an individual stock is, why would you even do this? Why wouldn't you do it on the S&P 500? Because if the S&P 500 drops by 40%, I don't care.
Oh, well, you shouldn't do it. This stock is terrible.
I'm just asking, like, in general, why would you do this with an individual stock? It's so unpredictable.
Yeah, and what if the stock drops 90%? Like, you're going to get exercised on the put you sell, right? And then you kind of get freaking screwed, because, like, you're basically on the hook for you basically have to buy those shares at the $40 strike price, even if it's a $1 stock. Wouldn't that be the case? Like, if it went down to, well, let's see, if it went to zero, your max loss would be 3,152.
Getting assigned on things early doesn't actually hurt you in any way, unless you have some sort of spread and you have a liquidity issue. But as far as your profit and loss, you're fine. But the reason why you would do it on an individual stock as opposed to, say, the S&P or something, is because this is very unusual. This sort of divergence between the amount of money you get paid for the put and the amount of money it costs for the call is very unusual. In fact, the puts and the calls giving the same premiums is what's called put call parity.
Okay.
And so this is a general principle of stocks, that the puts and the calls give the same premiums in all cases. It's
Was that just a supply and demand thing? Because I mean, I guess people are demanding puts a lot more, which is why puts are selling for more.
essentially yes. And the reason why this is not arbitraged is because it costs a lot to short. So if puts cost a huge amount and calls are cheap, but the shares are easy to short, then you could simply do this synthetic long position and then short the shares, and you're going to win in all cases. So the reason why this is available is because the cost of shorting has reached astronomical levels, and the market has already priced in a decline.
Okay. I think I understand. So like everybody's sitting around going, this market's ridiculously overpriced. You want to short, so you're going to pay a massive premium on it.
Yeah, you can think about this effectively as the stock price is $45, but the futures contract, if you will, this is kind of like a futures contract a little bit, is really $30.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're willing to hold this for a year, yeah, you get paid a lot, but the price will probably collapse.
Now, yeah, see, that's what I would be worried about. If the price collapses, I mean, you could potentially lose, $3,152. If it goes.
It's really nothing more than gambling. So like if you understand it and you want to do it, it's like I know people that are really good at Texas Hold'em and they make money doing it. I don't do it because like I said, when I talk about investing, I always tell people, they're like, well, investing is gambling. I go, it's not. It's a skill game with an element of luck. And this is the exact same thing. It's a skill game with an element of luck. Because there's nothing upholding. There's no fundamentals holding this company up. This is just when everybody wakes up to the fact that this thing has no underlying fundamentals, it's going to collapse.
Yeah, its intrinsic value is zero. So I mean, you could potentially. I don't think it will go to zero in the next year. But
not unless they raise interest rates, and this company's probably taking. I'd have to look more, but it's probably taking on massive amounts of debt because debt's so cheap right now.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing anything, but okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, if inflation continues to burn hot and the Fed and the European Union have no choice but to raise interest rates, a lot of these companies like this are just done overnight.
I hope that's the case. Well, this is Trump's company, isn't it?
Is it?
Let's look at another example. So this is this one I checked before the stream to make sure it was still available, but here's one that was true a little while ago, which is GWH. And this is a green tech company, so it's very
it's very liberal. Let me guess. P ratio. Nothing.
Yeah. So as you might imagine, but look at the stock price. The what's it called? The chart. Not the stock price, but the chart.
GWH. You can look at my loss, everybody. Getting annihilated.
Oh man, yeah. Not a week, a month, but like the whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sort of like so.
No, this thing went parabolic.
It did. It went up, I think, 170% in one day.
It's the future, bro. Well, yeah, it just went public, and then it freaking shot up from 860 to whatever 1741.
Yeah, so let's look at the one day and figure out what the price was before the after hours trading, because remember that's no change. So that's convenient. So the price is really the price. So then let's go to the options and let's see if we could enter a position at a discount. So let's go to January 2023 again.
I can only go to June 2022.
Good enough.
So we're going to
look. Yeah, we're gonna look to see what the spreads are, because sometimes we could think there's a discount, but it's really just the spreads are ridiculous. The price that they have listed for the calculations is the midway point between the bid and the ask.
I see it. Okay. So yeah, this is between this and this.
Oh, by the way, that's a difference between shares and options. The price that's listed for the options is the midpoint between the bid and the ask, whereas the price that's listed for the shares is the last price that the shares traded at.
Hey, bro, let me ask you, what books did you read before you started doing this? None.
I'm just completely self-taught.
Well, I mean, yeah. I was just going to say, I mean, reading a book would be self-taught too, unless you get, but you just did you just research this on the internet?
Well, I mean, I have some friends that are
And
very
they-
into investing.
And they helped you too. Because I've
Yeah.
been meaning to get to Turtle Trader. I just wanted to know if this explains everything in there. I don't know anything about options and puts. I'm a long-term investor. So that's why I ask.
Yeah, so I have some friends that are like professional poker players and also work at investment companies, and they got me a little bit into this.
I mean, have you made pretty good money? I mean, you don't have to tell us how much, but have you made a lot of money doing this?
No,
No.
although notably, I really just traded options this year, so I have wins and I have losses.
But it's something you like doing.
Yeah, I mean, mostly just been learning.
Okay.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, if you want to screw around with the options, fine. Just keep it as a small part of your portfolio, and then I don't recommend you sell calls or puts, because that's when you can lose big money. I mean, the most you can lose buying a call or a put is the premium.
Well, it's even
Yeah.
Even when I talk
Like
to
I did
people,
some options this year.
when I talk to people like at work and they start asking me this stuff about certain stocks, I go, look, if you must play this game, I'll explain to them, like in a company like this, all you're doing is gambling. If you want to play the game, keep it to less than 1% of your portfolio because it's gambling. And that's what I would tell you to do in real life. If you said, hey, man, I really like to gamble, I'd go, okay, well, keep it to less than 1% of the money you need to save. So,
That's exactly.
yeah,
what
I don't
you
know what
told
the
me
point
when
of
I
that was, but, huh?
Well, yeah, Jay, that's exactly what you told me, like when I was doing options on AMC.
Yeah, I remember telling you so. I also convinced you to sell Tesla, and the whole time it was going up, I wonder if Nate's pissed at me that Tesla's going up, and I told him to
Nate,
sell it.
Yeah, so before we get back to this,
Tiny
Nate,
bit.
what price did you sell Tesla at?
I sold it at like 820 this year.
That's fine.
Yeah, you made good
if I
money.
would have if I would have held a little longer, I would have made just an extra $750. No big deal, Jay.
If wishes were horses, beggars would ride.
Nah, it's no big deal. I mean, I made a good amount of money from it just so that I could like throw some good money at Publix. So I mean, I'm not upset about it. I thought about doing options back when it fell down, but I didn't because ultimately paying the premium for Tesla is ridiculous. Like the premium on those highly volatile stocks are insane.
Especially the put premiums, which I mean we can go check later, but put premiums are crazy.
Oh
on
my
Tesla.
god!
But
Dude, I think Michael.
So let's finish this. So
Go
Yeah, so
for it.
we're gonna buy a
we
call.
buy a call. Is it this one?
Yep.
And then we
And
sell.
we can see that the bid ask is pretty tight, so that's good.
Nice and tight.
Yep.
And then it's okay.
So the break even is 14.22. So let's say I do think if you're just trading options, you're doing it wrong. In fact, I'm not even sure I would call that gambling because to me, I like gambling in the sense of something you can win or lose at. But usually when people refer to gambling, they're just referring to like a method of losing. It's not really gambling. It's just losing in an interesting way.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier with Texas Hold'em. If it was just luck, why do the best players always consistently end up at the World Series of Poker? If it was statistical luck, that wouldn't happen. It's probably the same thing with this, or no?
Yeah, so let's say you're a value investor and you decide that this stock is worth $15. Well, you don't want to buy it for $16, but you see here, if you enter into this synthetic long, you can effectively be buying it for $14.22. So is this is this making money trading options? No, it's just using options to make the type of investment you want to make as opposed to the type of investment you don't want to make.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really the way that I look at options. If I value a company as a little bit less than they're currently trading at, maybe I'll sell a covered call.
Okay.
But I'm not trying to swing trade options or something like that.
So my question is, so instead of doing that, like let's say, yeah, I mean, I agree. You could, if you want to buy a stock and you have the cash sitting around, but it's too high right now, you could also just sell a put at the strike price that you like. What is the difference between how does this pay off better selling versus just selling a put instead of buying a call and selling a put?
So buying a call, we have to pay an additional premium, but we get access to the upside if the stock goes up above the price, the strike price. So if we go back to the position that we have here and just remove the buying the call part, you'll see how the graph will change. So get rid of that. So now we have a max profit. Once the price it closes above the strike price of 15, we've hit our max profit. Our break even is now lower. The stock price has to fall much further. And that's basically because we're not paying the premium for the call. So because we're not paying the premium for the potential upside of this stock, the downside is lower as well.
Okay, I got it. So the worst case, you just lose the call premium if you decide to do this versus just selling a put. But yeah, buying the call, you actually, if the stock does go up, you can make more money. Okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, essentially it's because the premium you have to pay for the call is less than the premiums for the put.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this is possible. It's because people expect this stock to go down. So if you think maybe it will go down, but not as much as people have priced in, then this is a good choice. If you think that the stock price will go up, it's still a good choice. You're just buying it at the discount that the market is giving you. Now, it could be the price will go down even more, and then it's a bad choice.
Okay, so you saying is this related to Meat Spin Kevin somehow? Because I know you were saying.
Yeah, it is. So let's look at Robinhood Stock Hood.
Let me delete this crap before I buy it on accident.
You wake up like,
oh crap!
as a soy boy, I feel like it's my responsibility to get you to accidentally buy green energy stocks.
Yeah, I'm watching you closely. Okay, let's see. Hood stock, man. Woo! So its actual price at the close is what, 21?
So yeah, let's go to the options and see. Yeah, exactly. So it's really 21.55, right? So let's see if we can do this. So let's go to January 2023, and I think we're going to see that it's not possible. But let's
so we want to buy it at what, 20?
Sure.
And then sell a put at 20.
Yep.
Doop. Yeah, the call is more than the put.
Yeah, so that could just be an issue of the spread. Generally speaking, the calls won't trade more than the puts, because if the calls trade for much more than the puts, we can do the reverse where we sell a call and buy a put, which is a synthetic short position, and then we can hedge that by buying the shares. And since we're buying the shares, we don't have to pay any short interest.
So, quick question: is this what all these the AMC clowns are always talking about? Oh, synthetic long or synthetic shares. Is this what they're talking about? Like basically the hedge funds are doing something like this with option strategies.
I think that's part of it, but it's also potentially other liquidity pools. By the way, I will let you know that my most successful trade by a very large margin was shorting those damn meme stocks.
Oh, I can imagine, dude.
In fact, what I did was I just sold a bunch of options where people were betting that it's going to go, to the moon, and I bet that it wouldn't, and that worked out very well for me.
Really? AMC wasn't going to go to the moon?
I'm convinced all those meme stock traders do is string words they don't understand together to try and make sense and sound like they know what they're doing.
Tamago, I was swing trading options on AMC for a while.
How'd you do?
I did really well, actually. Like the first time I traded AMC, I made I bought calls for it to pass, I think 20, and I think it went up to 25. So I made a nice profit of I think $1,600 total.
Dude,
and then once it went up to 35, and then I actually bought puts on it, and it dropped below 35 again, and then it went back up. So I was basically making money up and down. So I was just I understand at the company at this point, there's no real price for it because AMC is a bleeding shithole company. So I'm just playing the number on the screen essentially.
You're just playing the cesspool that is modern meme investing.
Yeah, but aren't they coming out with
popcorn
or something like that? Isn't that like a 10x bullish signal?
What is?
I think they're trying to come out with
I thought they were making a. No, they actually just came out with grass-fed popcorn. It's the future.
This is why I sit around at work all day praying that there is some sort of environment that occurs that makes this market crash, because Tesla just announced they're making an electric four-wheeler. And I go, you guys haven't even delivered your stupid Cybertruck yet. And you're making other crap?
Yeah,
you
it's
grifting
Tesla. Buy
a-holes?
the stock. It only goes up. Okay?
Well, dude,
Just buy the
that's
stock.
just ridiculous, man. It's some
Well,
crazy like 90% of the
morons-
finance YouTubers you see, 90% of these finance YouTubers will disappear with one bear market.
Dude, these morons also keep thinking that what Elon Musk is selling his Tesla shares out of altruism, that he's going to help humanity. I'm like, he's just playing you guys, dude. I would be locking in profits, and a good number of people inside Tesla are actually selling the shares now.
I mean, dude, never doubt insiders share selling. Never ever underestimate the power of that. Not to mention, I think Elon's also I think he's also avoiding the opportunity of a it hasn't passed yet, but that like unrealized capital gains tax they're talking about.
Yeah, which I've been yelling at progressives about, where I just go, how much of Elon Musk's money do you think the government needs to spend? That's where I will defend him.
Let's finish this.
All right, so yeah, let's close that out because we don't want to accidentally buy this piece of shit.
Okay, so you want me to exit this out?
Yeah, just get rid of
So
it. I mean, you don't have to, but it's just for you, really for your piece of mind.
I will. Trust me.
And now let's go back to
This
Hood.
piece
Let's
of
go back
shit.
to let's click on on that. So let's look at the share price over the last 3 months. So the options market essentially isn't pricing in any future change in the price of the stock, but can you just maybe mouse over someplace where it was? Oh, there we go. Yeah. That was a place where you could buy Robinhood for like a 10% discount if you use the options. So that same strategy that works with Don will always cuck, DWAC, the same strategy that works for that. It used to work for Robinhood markets back when it was trading for about 40. So you really didn't want to be long just the shares. If you were long Robinhood at that point, you wanted to use that option strategy because you got a huge discount. However, from this time period, now maybe, I don't know for absolute certainty, but I'm pretty sure because I was checking the prices in this interval. But there is someone, a notorious genius, super genius trader.
Oh, wait a minute. Meat spin, Kevin.
Well, I actually sent you
The first video that comes up is one of mine.
Dude, yeah.
I sent you the link for him talking about his position. But I don't know if we don't necessarily have to play it, but it's the or I can actually I can get you the name of it.
Hey guys,
what's inside my $52 million portfolio?
You sent me an email.
Yeah. So
YouTube.
what's inside my $52 million portfolio? We're going to go to 9 minutes and 40 seconds on that one.
By the way, there's this live stream right here of Strongman, and it's got Meat Spin Kevin on it. How funny. There he is.
Yeah, so let's go to 9 minutes, 40 seconds.
Wait, hold on. Before we get this going, let me get it.
Oh, yeah. You need to.
Oh, is he getting the hair? What was the timestamp?
9 minutes, 40 seconds. There we go. So let's look at Hood. Now, I'm pretty sure that these are just shares. Let's make sure to play this.
Okay, I see Hood.
But this is wrong.
Actually, so tell me everybody stop talking. Tell me if you can hear this well or not.
Now I'm kind of 450-50. So 237.
Yep.
Works up to about
Can y'all hear that pretty well?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So just tell me when to stop.
0.75% of my portfolio. Robinhood. This is actually incorrect. There's definitely more Robinhood. So I think, see, look at this. I kind of forgot this part.
Look at that Robinhood. See at the top? Those are his shares in the Robinhood broker. So when he said, I forgot, he forgot to include all the Robinhood stock that he owns in the Robinhood broker. So let's keep playing this and we can see.
Yeah, that kind of changes things a little bit. Yeah, so I've got about one
all right, pause it.
sitting in.
Okay, so mostly he owns Robinhood in the Robinhood broker, which doesn't give you any of the interest that you'll get from short sellers, to my understanding. And so if you look at his position, he owns $1 million of Robinhood in the Robinhood broker. And remember, you have to pay 10% more if you buy the shares versus if you buy the synthetic long. So no matter what Robinhood does, this position will be down $100,000 versus the actual superior position of buying the synthetic position.
Yeah, but my counter argument is he has $52 million at 29.
That's true. I mean, he is a super genius, but everyone has to have their flaw.
I mean, look at that face.
I think it's the one thing he got wrong. Definitely, it's not the hair. It's not forgetting to wear. It's not forgetting to wear his nose.
Okay, look how much he charges for his course. How much do you charge? Oh God, do I have to put my let's say
Just put a fake email.
Meat spin 2022 at gmail.com. All right, let's see.
God,
Meat spin.
I'd get 41% off.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
How much
He
is he
charges
charging?
$882 for his course. How much do you charge, Tamago?
well, right now I'm not charging anything, am I?
Dude,
Anyway, yeah. So basically, me Kevin is a total idiot that doesn't know what. He's doing.
Well, let me qualify that because I don't think he's an idiot. But let me be clear that most of the trading in the market, if you want to look at like active trading, it's people at the 99.9th percentile losing to people at the 99.99th percentile. That's basically the market. And the people that are at the 50th percentile, most people, if they get involved in trading, they're quickly not going to have any money left over, which is why you want to put your money into long-term investments, diversified portfolios, and you don't want to trade in and out of stocks. I don't think, even if Meet Kevin is good at trading stocks, I don't think he's at the 99.99th percentile level. So I don't think he's really making his money trading in and out of stocks. I think
he's not. He's making all his money from courses in YouTube.
Exactly.
He made all his money.
He's getting annihilated.
If you
He's paying
follow
50% taxes on his gains.
Yeah, if you follow Meet Kevin and just bought into this stock and just bought shares because you think, oh, he knows what he's doing, you are going to lose by a lot, as opposed to doing the option position. And again, doing that synthetic long, this is very basic. I mean, this is something that just looking at the options market, I discovered, and I'm not very experienced with options.
But here's the thing. This is what I try to I try to put into people's heads. Stupid people think with authority. You know what I mean? Because they don't process the risk. And so they talk with certainty and confidence. It's like if you've ever watched a bunch of scientists up on stage who are experts in their fields, they just go, well, this is what we found. We don't know what it means. Whereas a guy like you, you're clearly intelligent if you majored in mathematics and computer science. Guy like you, if somebody asks you, you go, well, here's the thing. There's a lot of risks. Where Meet Kevin just goes, nah, you just YOLO into Robinhood stock and then things just magically happen and you're a millionaire overnight.
Well, let me actually expand on
that.
Because if we look at Meet Kevin's actual position, Robinhood was about 5% of his portfolio. And then after that, I think that you, Jay Nagy, just did a review of his current portfolio, and he doesn't have Robinhood. So if you are going to quickly trade in and out of Robinhood, then it actually makes sense to buy the shares, because if you trade options, you have to pay these huge spreads. So if you're day trading, the shares make sense.
But I haven't gotten to his big portfolio yet. I did his little one.
Oh, okay.
And then I did his medium one, but I'm working on the large one. I haven't put the medium one up because there's a lot of, this is another thing that I just tell people why I know this guy doesn't know what he's doing, is he has 21% Tesla in one portfolio and then 12% in another. Okay, and then people will say, well, Tesla ballooned up. Good. Then you should be taking profits and keeping it at a reasonable weighting no matter what it does. Or at least that's what I would do. If I had bought in Tesla and just devoted 2% of my portfolio to it and it had grown to 10%, I would be taking profits back down to, I might even go, well, I'm going to leave it at 5% because I think this thing is still going to explode. I'll take profits again when it goes up to 10%. But he's not doing that. And he even sent Chris an email going, You don't know what you're talking about. Tesla ballooned to 50% of my portfolio. Okay, well then you're a moron for keeping it there.
He hasn't emailed me, but I wish he did. I would rip him apart. But he has like commented on my videos multiple times because I think he knows he's completely full of crap and he's a fraudster. But
he called you a hater.
He does. You know how much like people have been negative on me because they're defending their favorite YouTuber, and I always go back to this. If you made a video crapping on Joe Rogan, I would devote 0 time to refuting it. I don't care. So it's like if I'm watching somebody that knows what they're doing, like why would you devote any amount of time to defending them? And also on top of that, why would you even defend yourself? Like crap on me all you want about Baba. Unless it gets delisted, which is a risk, mark my words, it made $30 billion last year. It's trading well below what its expected market cap should be.
Jay, Baba went down. Tesla went up.
I know.
Tesla made more money than Baba. Don't fact check me. I'm right.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta piss. I'll be right back. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my only point on the dude is an idiot, and I don't get it when you have these massive YouTube video channels. I don't even have a big following, and I'm constantly trying to read as much as I can. I'm reading this right now. It seems to me that the guys like Jeremy and Kevin, they don't devote any amount of time to learning basic fundamental analysis. So I don't get it.
Well, dude, that's the thing is like it's going to take like this is why I say this all the time. It's going to take one big bear market to make all these fucking people shut up. Like it's going to take one bit, and then they'll just be like, "Oh, buy the dip," and it just keeps dipping.
Well,
I can't wait for that day.
Here's the thing. Tattooed Chef's levered cash flow was like $70 million. And I go, okay, the second interest rates rise to something like 3%, which they will, they're going to have to eventually. That company's going to implode.
Dude, Tattooed Chef is like once interest rates go up, which they probably will. I think Tattooed Chef will be gone. Any of these like small companies, like these small cap companies will be gone. Dude, I'm so jelly of you guys. I would buy Baba right now, but like it's not a good look for my clearance, like my top security clearance. So I'm just gonna
you're gonna
Who's telling you? I don't think that's a big deal.
That's what my colonel told me.
Your colonel told you get rid of your Baba shares because it could be a conflict of interest.
Yeah, he said owning foreign securities, especially when conflicts are high right now, is they take it really seriously.
Look, there's the I fund and the TSP. Those are foreign stocks.
Well, if he said it's different for index funds because index funds aren't generally like unless they're focused on one sector in particular or they're like man-made. It's different to own an index fund that contains foreign stocks than it is to just own an individual company that is a foreign security.
I get the idea behind it, but I would also submit back to whoever I was talking to if they were being serious about it. I go, yeah, I'm definitely seeing myself betray my company because I have $4,000 in Baba and it could shoot up. It's like, dude, give me a break. You think that with my time in the service, you think I would betray my country for any amount of money? Honestly, I would just look at you and be like, yeah, dude,
I have 10K in cost. I just did the math. I have like 10K in cost basis in Baba. So I have a lot to lose if that freaking stock goes down anymore.
It might be trading below its gram number, dude. I think I calculated its gram number at 93. I'd have to go back and look.
He also said that it's not just like foreign securities. He also said contract like defense contractor companies. He also said like if you have any Lockheed Martin, which I did, or like any Raytheon or anything like that, he's like you should probably get rid of.
Lockheed Martin was still good. I calculated Lockheed Martin when you were talking about it at like a 9 or 10% return.
Well, no, I like that company, but he said he's like that stock will that stock is any defense contractor company is like a conflict of interest as well. He's like, if you got into the higher like field officer ranks, it's like a big deal to own defense contractor stocks. So,
why? Because I think blowing up people that are opposed to that are America's enemies is awesome. Like, dude, yeah, we're questioning your loyalty to the United States of America because you own Lockheed Martin stock.
You know, I think it's a true betrayal to the United States is owning soy boy stocks. No offense,
yeah, these people, the people that keep telling me like, well, dude, everybody's gonna have a Tesla roof, and I keep going. There is a finite amount of sunlight that hits the ground, and it doesn't work in more northern latitudes.
Tyler J left a comment that I would actually like to respond to. He said, Lockheed's American, tell your colonel to F off. Well, yeah, Lockheed is American, but it's not just foreign securities. It's also defense contractor companies because, defense contractor companies that are like utilized by the Air Force, like the Air and Space Force, could like, if you reach a higher field officer rank, could present a conflict of interest. Like if you have a bunch of money invested in their company. Oh, hey, look, it's me. But no, yeah, he basically it's the same idea of like conflict of interest. So that's why he said it's way easier on your security clearance to just not own those securities.
Is it a conflict of interest to buy this book?
Oh, absolutely not, guys! Buy "Stop Being a Broke Loser" by Christopher Bell. It's only $3. Actually, I'd much rather buy a I prefer buying a $900 course. That's a good
Strongman, if Baba keeps going down, I'm going to have to buy that book from you.
You need to.
I'm going to need it if Baba
there's so much options. I actually have like 2 pages of options in here. It's like, this is what a call is. This is what a put is. Don't buy it.
This book that I recently bought will make Chris happy.
Christopher Bell stock, Moons.
I need to refresh my accounting, dude. So I bought it. I also bought Thomas Sowell, Basic Economics.
Hold on a minute. Buys from
Christopher Bell stock,
streams in his robe. So I'm not wearing any underwear. Like I'm literally naked except for my robe. So when I stood up to get my book, I was like, hope my butt isn't showing or my schlong doesn't fall out.
Getting ready for the truck stop.
If y'all buy my book, I will start wearing pants on the streams going forward. But right now, I'm wearing my freaking bathrobe.
Tyler J. That's a funny comment. Dude, people will be cheering on Tesla in the finance community the way, like during a Cold War, the same way that they'll be like, yeah, go drone strikes. We love drone strikes.
I'm really just hoping that we completely avoid war with China or Russia because I would rather invest in the stock market and get rich, and I would rather that there was peace. But hey, if we got to kick somebody's ass, we got to kick somebody's ass.
Hey, all you need to know about a conflict with us in China is Google the Belt and Road Initiative.
I know what
That's
it is.
all you need to know. Yeah, you know what it
Dude,
is.
It's basically the Silk Road redone.
Yes, absolutely, and it's a genius thing. It's like, oh, you want to step us? I guess your resources are going to be starved out, and you're like, oh shit, they got us.
The problem with China is I think they will surpass us briefly, and then I think the problem with them is they have a demographics crisis. They don't have enough people. Whereas if you look at America, immigration is bringing in a lot of younger people. China doesn't have that. So, I mean, I think they'll surpass us for about 20, 30 years, but then I think the demographic crisis is going to hit too hard. And I think they're going to have a real problem with India because India doesn't have the same demographic crisis problem. And India's right on their border, and they're
I bet
enemy.
you India will eventually, because most developed countries, they develop, and the more they develop, the lower their birth rate goes. So I bet you India is going to eventually be there too.
It will, but
Tyler-
not to the extent. China's going to suffer from the one-child policy that they had, and they're already seeing it where there's not enough women for young Chinese men to marry. So a lot of the men that they have money, they'll get brides from Russia and stuff like that, or wherever. I don't blame them. Russian women are hot, but then it gets into the problem of there's just not enough women over there, and so they're not going to be producing families, so their population is going to dramatically shrink. And we're at the tail end of growth because the world population is projected to peak about 9 billion and then start going down from there.
Hey, Tyler J put a comment about Taiwan. You guys want to talk about that? I have a theory on it that I kind of came to a consensus when talking to my cadre.
Go for it, dude.
I think that I essentially don't think that. I mean, our administration has said that if China invaded Taiwan, that we would interfere, and then the Chinese president said, "We don't give a fuck if you interfere. We're going to invade Taiwan no matter what." Essentially, they have a monopolization on resources, so we're done. Like there is no way we could interfere with that. Maybe they'll lose in the short term, but all they have to do is starve us out since they're literally winning in the resource department. I think they're the number one creditor now, right, Jay?
I don't know about that, but they do not have the resource. Like China doesn't have the breadbasket, the food that we grow. The whole world's interdependent. I agree with you. If I wanted the Ukraine and I was Chinese and I wanted Taiwan, I would get with Vladimir Putin and say, you invade Ukraine, we'll invade Taiwan, and there's nothing the Americans can do about it. Because we can't fight that war on two separate fronts like that. How I would defeat China, if I was the prime minister of Taiwan, I go, oh, you guys want to come in here? Good. Everybody's got a Second Amendment right now. Come on in. That's what I would do. That's what I would do to protect Taiwan. I'd mandate that every citizen has 1,000 rounds of ammunition in an AR-15, and I'd be like, cool, when you guys come in here, we're going to shoot all your soldiers in the streets.
Yeah, dude, Taiwan's population is 23 million. China's population is like 1.3 billion. Like, even if everybody had a gun, they still wouldn't be
China's army alone trumps our entire military in terms of size.
Yeah, but it's not always the size. Sometimes it's how you use it.
I'm just saying I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like doing full scale invasions, I mean, they'll have a pretty good chance with like higher numbers, obviously.
Guys, you left one thing out the Chinese have.
COVID bats.
What if China just started firing missiles over here and there was no explosives? It was just bats laden with coronavirus.
So are you guys worried about the new variant in the stock market? Do you guys worry about short-term fluctuations? I see a lot of fear.
It's the Holly Omicron Christmas. All right,
I see a lot of fear in the markets.
Well, here's what I'm saying. My Christmas present would be the market drops by at least 40% and it stays that way for a long time so I can keep buying.
Yes.
I'll be the one guy.
I want a bigger crash because I put 500 every month in my my Roth, obviously. I'm waiting for it to drop, the market to have like a day where it drops like 7 or 8%. I'm like, that would be dope because then I could put 500 into all these discounted companies. Well, index funds, not companies.
I wish I was 21 years old and doing what you're doing. You could probably just stop investing right now, and by the time you're 65, you'd be a millionaire.
I think
that's exactly how it works. If you put in a little bit of money when you're young and then you just stop, boom, you're a millionaire. But if you wait till you're 40 or 50, I need to save now. Yeah. You're not gonna be
well, Nate's gonna be fine, man. If you do 20 years and you just crush the TSP. After you'll be 38, you'll be 42 years old and done. You'll be retired.
they don't have the pension program anymore. They actually discontinued it, I believe, in 2018 for
No, for the
No,
military,
it's
they still have
something
the-
different. It's a
What?
It's a combination of the TSP and something else now.
It's the
And actually,
okay. Instead of getting
personally-
50% of your salary, you get 40% of your salary as a pension, and of your base salary, and then but you also get a TSP match. So the pension is still there. It's just less
Okay.
than what it used to be.
Yeah,
But
so
don't
see,
pay
I
the
don't know
military
why-
for a pension. Like I'm actually going to make a video about it. Pensions aren't as great as people think because I think you could self-invest and generate more
Well, yeah.
money and have more flexibility, not with the freaking pension.
well, you
See,
could
dude, when I was-
definitely, you could definitely. Thing I think is do away with Social Security, but take that money from birth and put it into the total world market. Because this is the thing I've been thinking about more and more. If it was explained to a lot of people, like, look, no matter what job you work, as long as you're putting away 5% of your money and you live a reasonable lifestyle, you'll be fine when you turn 65. It's the people that don't save money.
See, dude, I fucking some officer when I went to field training told me that like the 20-year pension plan was like completely changed and that you wouldn't be able to do the 50% base pay anymore. And what I got from that is like, oh, there's no more pension if you do 20 years or healthcare benefits. But
Chris
it turns
is
out
nuts, man.
It's 40.
well,
It's
no,
just
I
40.
trust Chris. I trust
Yeah.
Chris.
I don't know if you guys do this. I'm actually in the army. Okay. I did a freaking dude. I did a video when I first started doing YouTube videos. If y'all are curious about like military pension now, go to like some of my oldest videos. I think there's a picture of me shirtless, looking really sexy, and I talk about like how the pension has changed and all the details. So you can go watch that.
I'll find that, yeah. Because I am
You
curious.
just want to
yeah.
see me shirtless, don't you?
Yeah, because I mean, I get it. I don't know. If you look at the amount of money that you're going to be paid with Social Security versus if you would, even if we just said, all right, well, our commitment is to eliminate poverty, and on some level, you started saving for these kids when they were born, you'd eliminate elderly poverty. And I don't know that you would need Social Security.
You're always going to need some Social Security for like, it's for the really low income people that don't know anything about finances and savings. It's basically a welfare program. It's a massive welfare program.
It is, but my thing is this, look, we all have to be realistic about this. Like, I know that we own the printer right now. And I mean, every time somebody brings up modern monetary theory, I want to headbutt a nail in the wall until I die. But like we all need to be semi-realistic about it. Look, if everything works out on YouTube, right? I start making money and I save all that money and I turn 65 and I have like $5 or $6 million and they're like, wow, you want to draw Social Security? It's like, listen, man, I don't need it. I know that I paid into it, but America's been good. Give it to the people that need it. Because at a certain point, we are going to have, you can say
Give you the money.
and people will say that's crazy, but at a certain point, we're going to have to confront our spending problem.
No, we're not.
Where are you going to get the money
The
from?
government can just use inflation to inflate away any problem. And the people that get screwed are the lower income people. It's like, if we have to pay a certain amount of Social Security, we'll just inflate the dollar, and then we can pay the same nominal amount, but pay less Social Security.
Dude, Daniel de Blasio, check that guy's comment. Daniel de Blasio's dad is the mayor of New York City. He's got a Neo profile picture. This guy definitely goes to the truck stop.
Oh, it's going to increase. But I mean, at a certain point, you can only you keep paying people in monopoly money. It doesn't buy anything.
Yeah, Social Security
doesn't
they have inflation adjustments, but
Chris, explain what Social Security actually is, because you looked into it, and when you actually explained it to me, I was like, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of."
It's super simple. You have the people that are working; they pay payroll taxes. You, as an employee, pay 6.5% up to $137,000. Well, they may have increased it a little bit. Your employer has to also pay 6.2%. So you're paying a total of 12.4% of your income employee and employer, up to I think it's like $140,000. That money just goes to Social Security, and then that gets transferred to old people that are retired right now. So it's literally a transfer from the working people to older people. Now, the problem is there's way more older people now, and there's a lot less younger people than there used to be. So that ratio is bad. So it's harder and harder for us to afford to tax the current working population and transfer it to a growing and growing and growing older population. That's the problem there. And on top of that, if let's say Social Security collects more in revenue and then they have to spend out to old people. Well, what they do is they put that money into basically treasury securities, which pay 1 or 2% and are less than inflation. So even when the Social Security Administration invests your money in the trust fund, it doesn't even beat freaking inflation. So you're paying, an average person is paying 12.4% of their income, their entire working life, to transfer that money to some old person. Or if it gets invested, it just goes into a freaking treasury. It's the stupidest socialistic system I've ever freaking seen. It's dumb. But you can go look it up yourself.
No, when you were explaining that to me, you're like, they put all your money in T-bills. If there's any excess money, and I'm like,
they might have some special security with that they get. They lend to the government. The government, when they lend to the government, maybe the government pays them a little bit more interest. I don't know the exact details, but it's basically a treasury security. It's a debt instrument, so it's not paying anything over 2-3% at best.
I live in a really liberal area. Basically, a Bernie Sanders supporter is kind of like center right where I live.
Jesus Christ, dude, what's going on there?
Where do you live?
I'm on the West Coast.
Oh, okay. So
what's your home address? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. You may have heard about this.
So let me guess. Is it Washington?
Center,
No.
right?
Damn. Washington or Oregon or California?
Yeah.
California?
So it's interesting that like everyone I know is very much rah Social Security, and then when I explain to them so you support a program that transfers money from young poor people and immigrants and gives it to old rich white people, like that's what you support, and it like their mind just short circuits.
It's so easy to understand. It's such a joke, and it's 12.4%. So when I do my tutoring side business or I get money from YouTube, I have to take roughly 12.4% of everything I get made, every dollar I get, and I send it to the freaking government for Social Security when I could have invested 12.4% of my money into a total world index fund. Imagine the discrepancy in returns over a lifetime. It's ridiculous.
Well, dude.
Or Tesla. You could have invested in a Tesla.
I could have bought Tesla.
Dude, I'm working on a bit. I don't know how to make it work right now, but I'm working on it where I explain to the audience why I vote Republican. And I go, you may be thinking that you're not a Republican out there, but let me explain to you why you're a Republican. And where I go into stuff like this, like you just said, do you think it's right to take money from poor working class immigrants and poor people in general and give it to old rich people? Because that's what you're doing. Nancy Pelosi is still drawing Social Security. And I can't even figure out why Skeletor is still a thing that warrants news. I look at her and I go, how is anybody listening to the Crypt Keeper?
I mean, she's not. I wouldn't call her. She's not a liberal. She's just,
No, she's a corporate Democrat, and that's the worst. When I look at really progressive,
like a neo-lib.
Yeah, when I look at really, really progressive people, I'm not talking about dudes like Bill Maher, who's actually a source of rationalism right now, which is weird. But I look at him and I go, like, you don't understand that all your woke BS, all it is corporate division pushed down to keep you warring with each other. People at the top don't care about any of this.
Oh, this is interesting.
No.
If you follow Nancy Pelosi's husband's investing strategy, will outperform total world index funds. I want to see, what did her husband buy?
Her husband, and also, I just heard this the other day. There's a bunch of people in Congress who outperformed the market by 6 percentage points. And I go, okay, most of the people in Congress are morons, so they're using insider trading. Which
Here, let me share this real quick. So retail traders are mirroring investments by Nancy Pelosi's husband. So let's see what he bought.
By the way, I just want a technical issue about insider trading. So insider trading is when you have information that is essentially private to the company. What people in Congress have is information that is really like private to government policy, which is something, it's like has the same spirit as insider trading, but it's technically a different thing.
No, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that like Congress isn't technically doing the insider trading like you just said, where some corporate guy calls them up, but they, like you just said, everything perfectly there. They go, okay, so the government's going to do this, that's going to affect this industry, and effectively, how much I really care about it, not that much because I'm an index investor, but it's still something that shouldn't be done, in my opinion.
Oh, they should be forced to buy index funds.
Yeah, I don't think they should. I think when you go into government service like that, you're 100% right. You should just be like, listen, you can buy the total world market and that's it.
Yeah, and they would probably exclude them from buying even, from our adversaries like they do in the TSP.
Well, I also wouldn't let them buy individual index funds like the one I own that's in the pharmaceutical industry, the Vanguard Healthcare one, because that makes a perverse incentive for you to write certain laws that favor pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah. Okay, so just basically, he brought CrowdStrike. Doesn't Chris Pistane pump that? Tesla, Alphabet, and NVIDIA. Those are the hot stocks.
Okay, so every single one of those stocks is overvalued. So he's a moron.
But dude, they went up, Jay.
Well, he did marry Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, dude. I cannot get over this with politics. I go, how do we have 80-year-old people that have been in the system forever making decisions? Somebody, I was reading an article, said you shouldn't be able to run for office over 70. I don't know if I agree that blanketly that should be applied because Thomas Sowell's 90 and he's still sharp as a tack. But we have to be looking at people like, okay, dude, you're 80 and you're in cognitive decline. Nancy Pelosi is. Brandon is also in cognitive decline, and it's clear.
Hey, science.
By the way, the Brandon jokes are not funny. They have to go.
I only saved the Brandon thing because where I work, so it's plausible deniability. I've actually been calling him Brendan.
Oh, okay.
Tamago's representing the corporate left right now. He's just giving them some representation. He's being nice. I appreciate that.
What if this is Nancy Pelosi's like son or something? If she had one.
No, look, I'll sit here and attack a lot of Republicans all day long, like the Republicans that just posed with their AR-15s in a video, and I'm like, dude, come on. I'm so pro-gun. I'm right of Charlton Heston, and I'm looking at you going, is it really necessary to have a Thanksgiving picture where you're all sitting around with your rifles? Was that necessary?
All right, so this is actually a good question related
Chris,
to finance.
this guy in the chat keeps telling you to buy silver.
I'm not buying silver. Stop asking me.
He just keeps asking.
You buying gold, bro?
Yeah, I've actually seen he comments on my videos. He's like, buy silver. It's like, I don't buy shiny rock. Okay, guys, let's answer this finance question. How do you value an ETF? Well, you compare it to historical norms. So I actually pulled up VT here. You can see over here the price to earnings over the last 12 months is 19.5. So if you wanted to value it and say, okay, is it relatively overvalued or undervalued? You would just compare that to the historical average of the world market's price to earnings ratio. That's kind of a way to do it. So simple as that. And then you can compare every different kind of index fund. I mean, you could do it for the S&P 500, the VU.
I use a 15 multiple as the historic. It's like between 15 and 16.
Yeah, because the historical PE S&P 500, I believe you were right. It's like 15.
15 or 16.
Yeah, like the mean is 15, median is 14.87. So VU right now, over the last 12 months, it's trading at 24. So it is currently roughly 66% higher than it has been historically. So that's a way you could value an index fund. But if you're buying VT, you don't need to freaking worry about it. Just average into it.
I got some VT.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like if that's the main thing in your retirement fund, just dollar cost average it and don't worry about it. And it's where you want. It's looking at the price to earnings ratio of an ETF is where you kind of want to look. If you're like, okay, I have some extra money. Oh, the small cap is trading at a 12 price to earnings ratio. I'm going to throw that in the small cap ETF right now because it's undervalued. But I mean, other than that, I don't care. Like in the TSP, I just throw money at it every month.
Just be lazy like me. Just buy VT every month, and then you're just buying the world. I literally have one ETF in my Roth, and then I have a little bit of BABA, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right on the fact that it's actually your horsepower that makes the biggest difference.
Elon's going to make a VT, but it's going to be the Mars edition.
It's going to be a total Mars index fund.
Total Mars index
Yeah, dude.
Technically, I own that already.
But total which one?
I own all the Mars stocks.
What do you have?
Nothing.
Oh.
I mean, if there was a Mars ETF, it would be Tesla, it'd be Dogecoin, it would be what's this SpaceX?
Kathy Wood has like a space ETF. It's got like Netflix and.
Dude, you don't know how hard I laughed when Kathy Woods came out with that. She's like, I'm coming out with a space ETF, and all the fanboys went nuts. And I'm just going, oh.
Tyler, are you actually sticking a bar of silver up your rectum?
That's not what it should be used for.
Dude, it might be going,
bars. What company makes Mars bars?
Mars.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, dude, he's smart. He's storing the silver in his prison wallet in case he gets robbed.
Yeah,
Mars bars are made by Tesla. Actually, SpaceX. Sorry, SpaceX.
Yeah, Patrick. I don't know the answer to that, man. You can overcomplicate this thing too. With should PE be at historic valuations considering the amount of liquidity added to the system? Well, I mean, the total world market VT, like Chris said, is slightly overvalued. But I mean, at a certain point, you start outthinking yourself. So it's like just throw money at a problem till it goes away. Silver will soar. Wait until the market goes.
Tyler,
I don't disagree with that because there's fluctuations in every industry. In commodities, you can have a part of your portfolio devoted to commodities. Just don't have it 50%. Keep it like 5%.
Did you say buy VT? I agree.
Yes, I did.
No, you said buy silver, strong man. He's still saying
No, I think Tyler's almost changed my mind. I might go 100% silver after this video.
You should only go 40% silver, I would recommend.
400K into silver.
40% silver.
Strong man just
stacking
silver bars in the background. He's like, there's my stack of retirement silver.
Is there a soy boy ETF? And if not, we should patent one and make it, or at least do like a an index. Because if you create your own index, you can actually sell it, license it, and people can pay us.
I think if you just follow me, Kevin, you'll match the soy boy ETF's returns pretty well.
we could also
create the soy boy ETF, and then behind the scenes we can just short it.
That, and also to go with the soy boy ETF, we need to create man bras to support their bitch tits from all the soy introducing estrogen into their system.
It is the future. I mean, you probably make a lot of
Gynecomastia.
money off that.
Gynecomastia is the future for young men.
So, Tobago, are you actually I don't know if you're joking or are you actually a vegan or do you have like a specific diet?
I'm not vegan. I am vegetarian. I eat a lot of tofu.
Do you like Tattooed Chef food? Have you tried it?
I've never tried it. See, I think that I do love Beyond Meat. But
Really?
meat is something I can't just cook because it's like a special like pea protein thing that they have to manufacture. Tattooed Chef is something that I could just cook. Like their ingredients, they don't have special ingredients. So they're basically catering to soy boys that don't like cooking, which I think is a bad market.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but I did read somewhere. It's like only like 2 or 5% of the actual population is vegan. Something like that.
The thing is, vegan food is also automatically vegetarian.
Okay.
And also vegans are going to be much more enraged if there's a problem where something turns out to not be vegan. So as a vegetarian, I sort of trust vegan food.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it's also another rule I have. If I just really don't understand a market, I'm not even going to look at the stock. It's just it is a simplification thing. So it goes, hey man, what do you think about Beyond Meat? I looked at it. It's not producing any cash flow, so I just don't care. And I also don't really understand the vegan market, so I'm not going to go in there.
I mean, like, what do you think vegans want? Are they more, focused on just, making their own natural vegan or vegetarian food, or are they the types that go and buy, frozen tattooed taint sack?
I'm not sure, but I think one of the biggest issues for vegan food is that a lot of it doesn't taste very good. If you look at the vegan substitutes for non-vegan things, so like vegan cream cheese, vegan cheese are almost universally terrible. Vegan meats are okay, although I wouldn't necessarily know. But it's also something that could use a lot of work.
Is it a health thing for you, or is it a moral thing?
I think, well, since I've been vegetarian since I was 5. And so at that point, it was a moral thing. At this point, it's sort of like a combination of health and inertia.
Okay. But so here's a question. So a lot of the vegans or vegetarians, if I use the wrong term, my fault. They it's a moral thing for them. They just don't think, you should eat a cow. Okay. That's fine. Hindus have the same belief. What do you think would be the effect, though? Because they're creating factory-grown meat. And as the arc of technology, as it improves, it's only going to get closer and closer to the real thing. Were that the case, would you eat meat at that point? Or do you think that vegans would switch to meat? Or do you think that would just be a non-factor?
I think if there's no actual animal involved and there's no concern with, say, prion disease or some other sort of disease you might get from animal meat, then it'd be fine.
Well, I think if it tasted more like regular meat, I mean, like if I could buy a vegan steak and it literally tasted just like steak. I mean,
yeah, that's one issue right now.
I would probably buy the vegan steak potentially.
Let's say I was cooking the holiday dinner for the family and I made vegan food, and it was vegan substitutes for non-vegan things. And there were vegans there were non-vegans. Well, the non-vegans are going to be upset that it tastes disgusting. And so there's just a lot more opportunity to make a lot more things vegan if it tastes the same. An example, you can compare this to, say, kosher food. A lot of the food that you eat is kosher. And the reason it's made kosher is because why not make it kosher? If you're not Jewish, you don't care. And if you're Jewish, maybe you care. And so might as well make everything kosher. It's just easier. And same with... what's the other one? I think, is it halal, the Muslim version of?
Yeah, I think that's the term for it.
Yeah. So if there's no downside to it and there's a minority that wants it a certain way, why not do it that way? And so if vegan food is just as good for anyone, that's where it could start to really dominate because it would take over like that. But right now it's not there.
Yeah, it's got a long way to go. That's why, as with any bubble people are getting in too early, thinking it's going to take over and change everything. But until the food tastes just like regular food, most people are not going to switch over, and there's going to be a very limited market. But I do agree. I think if the food tastes exactly the same, especially if they can somehow make it cheaper, yeah, then there might be a huge freaking run over to vegan food.
Well, dude, this is what I don't understand.
This is actually a very important point.
This comment, the fact that
I saw that
the
too.
second I saw it, I literally had to move off screen. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I saw it too, and I was just like, that's a good comment. Beaver is both nutritious and vegan.
Is it technically vegan though?
Boy, how's a beaver vegan?
It's not vegan. It is vegetarian unless you're doing it wrong.
Depends on what beaver we're talking about here.
But yeah.
Where are these comments coming from, man? What kind of audience do we have?
Steve Stifler from American Pie over here. But no, dude, that's what I don't get about people that rush into like particular stocks. Like, oh, this is the future. Dude, if you bought Walmart in 1980, you got rich with very little risk. But if you bought it in 1971 or 2, whenever it IPO'd, I mean, you took the risk of Walmart going under. So, like, I don't understand the rush into. I have to have positive cash flows for at least 5 years until I'd consider buying a stock.
Who's this Nate? I need to ban him.
Save a tree, eat a beaver.
I
saw Chris. I saw your eyes like glancing at the chat, and then I saw you smile. I'm like, oh, he saw it.
I just start wearing sunglasses so I don't betray what I'm doing.
I'm not sure if we really have much credibility calling Meet Kevin a clown at this rate.
Yeah, we do, because he makes dumb decisions in the stock market.
But by the way, I just want to say one final thing about Meet Kevin, which is that the mistake that I'm pretty sure I found on his portfolio here. This was a small fraction of his portfolio, but there were probably people in watching his videos that will see some of the positions he makes that are bad choices. And he's only made it with a small amount of his portfolio, and he's making that money back in ad revenue. But some of his audience might think, oh, Meet Kevin's giving it the green light, looks like. Time to YOLO all my life savings into this ultimately bad choice. And so if you just watch Meet Kevin because you think sometimes he has a good take on something, but you're not just blindly following him, that's probably fine. What I worry about are the people that they see a video of him hyping something, they go all in and they lose everything. Meanwhile, he only made it 1% of his portfolio, and the next day he sold it.
I agree with you 100%. And another thing he doesn't do is explain to people that depending on your financial system, you need to have different strategies. He can afford to have 90 stocks in there. It's the same thing with Lafufu. They can take risks because of their YouTube money that you, as the average investor out there working a normal job, cannot take. And that's why tax-advantaged accounts with index funds are the most efficient way for the average person to build wealth.
Like, yeah, the whole point of savings, mostly is to, be ready for retirement. That's what the average person, is really saving for, except for short-term goals. Whereas these guys have already basically made it where they don't have to really save because they generate so much money every year. Even if they lost it all, they would have $6 million more the next year. So their life and your life are totally different.
Punk and Disorderly Gamers comment got me at the end. It just sneaks up on you at the end.
By the way, I have to disagree with the take that in a bear market, finally all these people will shut up. I don't think so. And the reason is the Baba crowd is just louder than ever right now. You would think when it was trading at 300, people might have conjectured, hey, won't Baba bulls shut up if it goes down to 110? Nope, they'll just get louder.
Yeah, that's why
Well-
like if you look on my channel, I don't do a lot of Baba stuff because I just don't want to be a hype YouTuber. Like, oh, Baba's down, buy it now. Like,
Well,
I have my fill of Baba where I am. I might buy more shares after I max my Roth, but it's like my strategy is this: when I get to a certain percentage of my portfolio on a stock, it sits there after that. It just, okay, I've reached my goal on it. Let's see if there's something else.
Yeah, but people on YouTube don't have the patience. I think, like, let's say Baba stayed down for 5 years, which it could. I mean, it's entirely possible. No YouTuber that only pumps Baba is going to survive 5 years, and nobody's going to watch that YouTuber for 5 years if they solely pump Baba. So what we're saying is a lot of these YouTubers that pump like one stock, as soon as that stock gets annihilated and it stays down for an extended period of time, I think their channels will die. Now, if they reorient and just start talking about another stock, maybe they can survive. But some of them are just 100% one stock, and that's all they talk about.
Some of them
Jay,
are.
let me
But
say something.
yeah.
I was going to say, I'm mainly talking about like all the YouTubers, like, you know, you have the big, like, holy trifecta of retardation of like finance YouTubers. You got like Andre Dick, Jeremy from Financial Bleb, whatever, Meat Spin Kevin. Like, they're going to be fine no matter what happens to the market because they make probably like $15,000 a month on YouTube at minimum. Like, they probably make more. And then when you add their courses, I'm talking about like the people that like go under them and then just make cookie cutter content of them. Like 90% of those people that are like, oh, Litecoin went up 10% today. Guys, Litecoin is the future. These people are going to die out because they don't have the following
I think
and the income that these other people do.
Any way you look at it, the crypto YouTubers, when the market corrects, are done. Because, okay, let's say that crypto is a success. How many coins are going to be traded? 20? You know, there's thousands out there, and every week it's a new coin. So that market will be eliminated. And I just think the entire market's going to go to zero. But
you know who's going to go away? I think is Chicken Genius. Once Tesla, all he does is talk about Tesla. Once Tesla actually goes back to its intrinsic value, which please happen, he's gone. Because that's in him and us solving the truck stop problem. All they do is shill Tesla. Those guys, I think, will disappear. But yeah, maybe LaFufu and Meat Spin Kevin will always be around, but a lot of guys won't.
I think Chris Sane is done in a market correction. Because here's the thing. I will slightly defend Meat Spin Kevin and LaFufu. At least they have a process that they think out, however stupid I think their process is. Chris Sane just goes, yeah, FedEx is a buy.
Why?
No doubt.
I got a FedEx package today.
Yeah.
You know what other package I got?
Yeah. It's like Chris Sane in a stock is akin to if we were in medieval times and they were talking about how they got a sign from nature. I saw a bobcat with a snake in its mouth. FedEx is going to the moon, baby.
I got a FedEx package in my mailbox.
I saw an Amazon truck outside my house. I'm all in.
I mean, I guess we'll see how the Ape Father does.
Oh, the Ape Father is going to be a international success. I mean,
did you watch the video that he responded to Chris with?
The one where he pulls his pants down?
I don't know if that was the one, but he kept talking about how Chris is going to be in the ape mansion sweeping.
Oh, yeah, that was an earlier one. Yeah,
I was like
completely unhinged.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, is this dude trying to be funny or does he actually mean it? Like, it can't, because that's how twisted the market is right now. Is this guy just clowning around and he knows AMC is crap, or does he actually believe it?
There's no way he doesn't know.
I think Ape Father.
Part of me thinks he's just clowning and really thinks AMC is a joke. But then another part of me is like, well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does have a massive position. So I really can't figure it out.
Dude, I think Ape Father is one market correction away from coming on this live stream.
Dude, I actually want to do a live stream with him. I might actually email him and invite him on.
Dude, you should. We should have him on and have a debate because I want to see if this dude is real.
I think he would. I'll contact him.
Yeah, dude.
I'll ask him for a debate. I think that'd be freaking hilarious and pretty fun. So
Think you can get Graham Stephan to moderate?
yeah, guys, stop it, guys, stop, guys, please. Oh no.
I don't think Graham is ever coming on this live stream after the reaction from his girlfriend to Chris's video about the Doge father.
I've definitely pissed off Meet Kevin. I've definitely pissed off Graham's girlfriend. I think I've pissed off LaFufu. I can't confirm that though. I'm just making enemies everywhere on YouTube. So, but yeah, Graham isn't coming on here.
Bro, he stopped using that theme song because we made fun of him so much. I know it. I know that's why he's not using it anymore, because we kept using it as our intro. Now the next step is we need to find Meet Kevin's intro music and use that.
Does he have?
You gotta let me. You gotta let me make like an ear rape version of it where you just boost the bass and the volume so that it's like.
If you know how to do it, if you know how to do it, I'm for it. But
yeah, I will send it to you. Literally, be like, "Hey guys."
It's like these dudes are. And the worst thing about this is those three are so much worse than Ryan Scribner. Even though Scribner might be the biggest charisma void of all of them.
Yeah, but he's got tats, bro. He's actually a bad boy. You see his little tribal tattoo he has in his arm?
Yeah.
Chicks dig him.
Dude,
one day we got to get Paul. We got to get Paul and Mo from Everything Money on here.
They're not going to come on our YouTube channel, on this YouTube. Maybe if both Chris and I had like ridiculous number of subscribers, but they're at least aware of Chris. I know that. But here's the thing. I'm not going to take credit, but it was mysterious to me that my sheet has been set up the whole time to show you a 12.5% return. And the day after I actually explained that, I had never explained that before. Everything Money started using a 12.5% return. I'm not saying that they saw my video and did that. It could just be parallel thinking. But it was pretty much agreed upon between me, Chris, and Eric that you should be using a higher discount rate to bake in a margin of safety on top of it. And why would you buy an individual stock if you can get a 7 to 10% return on an ETF or an index fund? Why are you taking the risk of an individual stock going under for the same return? I don't get that. So I don't know. But I think they're aware that we.
You know how I know they're aware of me? I just got a letter in the mail. They're actually suing me because of my stock analyzer tool.
I was wondering when that was coming because I haven't watched the video yet where you're like, I hacked Everything Money software.
Dude, I got it. I have it on the scent. Like I actually finally figured it out. So it is 100% replica. I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to upload it, because of lawsuits. But I finally cracked it.
I mean, even it's just not nice because they actually put out good material and that helps people. Yeah. That would be my thing about it is like these guys they're actually great. I don't agree with them on everything. Like when they talk about the 5-year PE ratio, I just kind of look at them and I go, who cares what the 5-year PE ratio is? Why would I care about that? I care about the here and now.
Yeah, I don't want to start with them. I mean, they're a good channel. I only go after idiots like people we've talked about previously.
They were the channel that Jay would always complain to me about the people that we're talking about, and then I'd be like, dude, you got to check out Everything Money. They actually make good shit and have a process that they use that's good. And then he eventually checked him out, and then I think the same day he made a reaction video to him smoking. Who was it? Who did he smoke? Meet Kevin, or was it Tom?
I think it was
Tom
Nash.
Nash.
Who, me?
He smoked Paul from Everything Money absolutely smoked somebody.
It was
who made a reaction to it.
Or Meatsman.
Who, me?
It was one of them. Yeah, you did, Jay. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, well, that was the one where I said Jeremy looking at the intrinsic value calculator is like a chimp trying to understand calculus. Because he goes, how disappointed he was. he was so disappointed that they didn't like Tattooed Chef. And I go, again, here's my opinion of if you don't like Baba stock. You don't like Baba stock. Okay. It doesn't affect my day.
Sack. Okay.
Tyler J, just go to Everything Money and pay for it.
You can't have my tool. Stop asking me.
Well, also, I mean, I like my own stuff. I mean, even if you hacked Everything Money software, I like my own stuff. I only use Everything Money in the same way that I use Guru Focus, just to check my work. Because if I get a number that is just wildly outside of what Everything Money is doing, I go back and I go, okay, is it their software or am I making stupid assumptions? Because they're saying that Amazon is like a $1,200 company. Well, I have it somewhere around that too. I have it like between $800 and like $1,150.
Well, I mean, if the math is the same, using the same process and you have the same assumptions, you should have the exact same number.
Well, if I use the same assumptions as them on discounted cash flow, if I'm using the same earnings per share, I'm within dollars of them.
Yeah, you literally just add up the discounted cash flows, and that's it. I mean, it's just simple. That's what their calculator does. It's not that hard. It's all about the assumptions and understanding the company. That's the hard part.
Where I disagree with their software, though, is they're always using the current earnings per share. And why I disagree with that is because you can have a wildly outsized year. Like Peloton was positive last year. Now this year. So if you calculated it last year from what the money that they made, your assumptions would be off. And this year they're back into the negative because last year everybody had stimmy checks. They were staying home at work and they're like, I'm going to buy an overpriced garbage bicycle and a $60 a month subscription because I'm too lazy to just strap a laptop to a cheap exercise bike and ride. It's the same thing.
Crappy laptop just bouncing around on your treadmill.
Why do you? I never got that about people and working out. Like, why need somebody to motivate me? Yeah, motivate yourself. That's how that works.
Shoes and go outside. That's what I do. I know it's pretty crazy.
Bassmaster. Bassmaster.
I need to make a video about Jeremy going back to the gas station.
Do you know, bro, I have a fantasy, Chris. I have a fantasy that one day we're on like a Tiger King type episode of YouTube financial guys where we're talking about the market and LaFufu's just bitter at the two of us and he's working at a gas station again. And he's like, these guys just came on and they made fun of me so bad. And then we're both smiling like, yeah, because he's a moron.
Wouldn't that be funny if he did end up back at a gas station?
Oh, bro, I would love to walk into like a gas station one day and just pay for my gas and be like, hey, man, you got any stock tips for me?
Meanwhile, he's still buying the dip on Tattooed Chef, and it's like $1.
He's still buying Tattooed Chef, and it's bankrupt. Somehow he's doing it.
Where's the liquidity?
All right, let's kind of wrap this up.
Let's do some comments and get out of here.
All right, so there's a ton of comments. I don't even know where to start. I'll just look and pick some out.
Tyler J is on fire today. I'm just gonna say that.
He wants me to buy gold that bad.
Silver.
Well, he's got Peloton Blue. He goes, Peloton blew its load all over the market.
Jeff Bezos worked for Darpa. Interesting.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
If you've worked at a university at all, you've probably worked for Darpa.
Really?
I mean, they are. I mean, working for Darpa at the university as a university researcher is kind of like having a bank account.
I mean, I was a gigolo on a university, but does that qualify me for working for
You probably
Darpa?
won't get Darpa funding. It's basically if you do any like science research, like if you're a computer scientist at all and you publish a paper, good chance that you've got Darpa funding.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. I knew that they were like the secretive arm of whatever the government where they're trying to acquire the next generation of weapons.
Yeah, so Elon Musk's whole dancing robot thing, and we all laughed at that. Well, imagine if instead of making the dancing robot, he just described in the abstract of his paper how there will be dancing robots one day, and then he just made his normal like self-driving car AI. That's basically how an academic paper looks in computer science, where it's got the abstract where it talks about how DARPA can make dancing robots one day, and then it actually does the work after that.
Okay. I got a question for you. I actually I forgot about it till now. Like, how far, because I know what I've read, how far are we from actual autonomous driving like we picture in the movies?
I don't know. That's a very difficult question.
Wouldn't it be more than 10 years off? I mean, when you just factor in government regulations?
The thing I would expect is that we'll have a gradual takeover of driving where there'll be more and more and more autonomous. So there won't be a distinct point.
All right, guys, there's a more important comment we need to read here. But no, we're probably a long way from self-driving. Sorry.
Yeah, no, if I have a guy who actually understands computer science and does this for a living, because it drives me nuts when I see guys like, what's that, George Perez with his arms up like this going, well, hey, full self-driving autonomy by 2025. And I go, yeah, homie, no, you won't.
That sounds very optimistic.
Is this all you have to do to get 100,000 subscribers?
Yeah, this is what you do. You just go like this.
I'm gonna start.
And then you have to say all in.
I'm all in.
There's no way.
What is Jeremy LaFufu's intro? Big Cigar doing the spaz.
There's no way to go all in as much as they say.
You just go
Chris,
all in.
Screenshot this. This is the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you do the crab people pose. Dude, it's like the thumbnails drive me insane because I just sit there and I go, "What are you opening up for the trucker already?" Is that Bye, Tattooed Chef. You'll be doing this down at the stables.
The stables. Elon Musk said rob taxis. But
rob taxis.
That would be the best thing ever. The Tesla vehicles turn into rob taxis. Like you get in and a dude just turns around and robs you. It's like my idea. It's like my idea
he said to rob taxis, and Seth Rogen is behind the robbing taxis.
Dude, no, I had an idea for a hit show called Kidnap Cab. You get in and they're like, "Oh, is this Cash Cab?" You're like, "No, this is Kidnap Cab. This is where you answer questions and it drops your ransom."
All right, guys.
Yeah,
let's
with a 10x now thumbnail. Dude, Daniel de Blasio, Musk lied again. Go back to 2017 when he's talking about how you're going to have full self-driving cars by the end of the year. Or go where he's talking about his little boring company, boring under the surface, and he's going, "It's not that hard. It's like an air hockey table." And then the tunnel that you get is some piece of crap where you can't drive more than 10 miles an hour.
Hey guys, I'm Elon Musk. I do everything.
Hello, my name is Elon Musk and I am grifting you.
Okay, here's your money. All right, guys.
Give me money. You're going to Mars.
Everyone remember, if you're buying some extremely hype stock, check the options market to see if the synthetic longs are cheaper. And if they are, don't just buy the shares. You will lose money.
Thank you for coming on, buddy. I really appreciate it. Really
this was fun. You should come on again.
Yeah,
I have something actually. Yeah. I have something. This was exposing Meet Kevin. I have one for Michael Saylor that.
That dude sucks.
I want to talk about him. So
next time.
Yeah. That dude, when he just said crypto is Bitcoin is hope, I was like, dude, I swear to God, I wish I had an attack chimp that I could just sick on him on stage. Like, Bitcoin is hope, and then Face Ripper Chimp just rips his face off.
See, I was listening to a Michael Saylor interview, and all of a sudden everything clicked, and I understood what he's trying to do. And I thought, oh my God, it's a fellow Slytherin. And I started calling him Darth Sailor after that.
Dude, I like it. But like, yeah, he's an even worse grifter than Musk.
I think people don't even know the level of what he's doing. But I mean, I could be wrong. This is speculation. But
You think
I'd
he's
love to talk
committing
about
fraud?
it next time. Not exactly. That maybe, I'm not sure.
I think he's
Not
committing
really.
fraud.
Not really. But it's interesting. I'd love to talk about it next time.
Yeah, dude, you got to come back on again and break
Yeah,
down Michael
comment.
Saylor, because that dude's a scumbag.
Yeah, that's actually a great. We'll talk about him next time. But anyway, that's it. I need to go. So like the video, subscribe to Jay Nagy. Go check out Nathan at nathanroscoe.com. Might be a lot of naked men on that
Comedian
website.
in
Don't worry
Tampa.
about it. And then,
That's Chuck for his comedy gigs.
yeah. All right, guys.
NathanRoscoe.com.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, guys.
Cheers.